Welcome back to our Timor World News for you now. Well, as we mentioned earlier, struggling to get its economy growing. The UK is now knocking on India's trade doors. Prime Minister David Cameron is in the British former colony, urging it to open up for more investment. Well, let's get some more expert analysis from New Delhi and talk with Professor Sreeram Chaulia from the Jindal School of International Affairs. Thanks for joining us on RT. Well, David Cameron is leading the biggest ever trade delegation, isn't he? How high are the stakes for the UK's efforts?
Well, as you know, Britain is about to predicted to enter a triple-dip recession, and exports and foreign investments and business opportunities, especially for its financial sector, are seen as a deus ex machina to try and get out of this rut. And therefore, the increasing attention the British are paying to large emerging economies which have huge consumption markets. And it's obvious that the second trip for the British Prime Minister in barely 30 months is a sign of the desperation, as well as of the dire need they have to try and diversify their export markets beyond the traditional European ones, which are in a very comatose condition for the last 5 years.
Well, indeed. I mean, Cameron has described Britain's relationship with India as special. What's so special about it?
Well, you know, there are historical ties, there's the shared heritage of the English language, there's the old colonial past, which has a mixed legacy. But I think he's trying to frame it as a special one on the same lines as the special relationship between Britain and the United States. But I must say that the UK-US relationship is one where the UK has been a subservient and junior partner. And certainly what we would like to see here in India is an egalitarian relationship that is on a level footing and based on mutual benefits and interests between the UK and India. So I would rather steer away from such phrases. He has also called it a great relationship. But the point is that, you know, India is being seen as important. Francois Hollande was here recently, and there is almost like a beeline of major powers that are trying to court and woo India, especially because it's a domestic consumption-based economy. And this special, I mean, it has to be special only if it's fair and equitable. And that is the point I think the years are driving home in all these negotiations, not to expect an older model which was based on rather patrimonial attitude of the British towards India, but rather one where we are equals, sovereign equals, and where you know, we have various concerns regarding
okay, let me just interrupt you if I may. I mean, you mentioned the investors there who are clamouring for a slice of India's success. Among the bargaining chips are warplanes. Now, Britain is trying to get interest in its Eurofighter, and France, you mentioned the President Hollande there, is touting its jets. So who's got the better chance, do you think, of securing India as a main trading partner?
Well, the French ostensibly got the deal last year, but there are negotiations and they're still carrying on. The British are trying to kind of now find a wedge in these negotiations and to come back into the picture. But at the moment, India is only doing exclusive negotiations with the French. And so the Eurofighter, which the British are selling, is still not in the picture. But I think they are going to be opportunistic and they're going to wait and see how the negotiations go. And perhaps the Indians may also not want to close the door on any kind of option for the best bargaining in terms of price and quality. It's you know, also a factor because the Indians want technology transfer and offsets and those kind of things along with the defense purchases, and they will try to weigh. But at the moment, clearly, Britain is, I think, just taking a chance by dangling the Eurofighter back, because last year they were pretty upset that they had lost it to the French, and in fact it was tied to development aid and cutting development aid to India. If they're not buying our jets, then why should we give them aid? And then India said, no thank you, we don't even need your aid. So they're phasing out the development aid. So as I said before, you know, it's reaching a stage where the scales are rebalancing in world power. These emerging economies are going to be far more important. In the next 5 years, it's projected that, you know, India will overtake many of these European economies individually, if not the whole EU as a whole, in GDP size. So therefore, I think they need to treat India with greater deference, and they will need to also respect Indian interests far more. I must mention on the corruption side that often often the investors say that, India is a difficult place because there's so much corruption. And I agree that it is. But at the same time, there are foreign sources of corruption. The supply side, many of these companies have been involved in scams.
I'm sorry to interrupt. We're going to have to leave it there, but thank you for those insights, expert insights from Professor Sreeram Chaulia from the Jindal School of International Affairs in New Delhi. Thank you.